morning.
Good morning.
This is from Native Wisdom for White Minds, Daily Reflections Inspired by the Native Peoples of the World, Ann Wilson Schaaf. Interconnectedness. The honor of one is the honor of all. The hurt of one is the hurt of all. Phil Lane Jr., Yankton Sioux, Chickasaw, Four Worlds Institute, American Indian. When one is honored, we all benefit. There is no real competition except with ourselves. When we are following our own path and being respectful of that path, we hope and assume that others are doing the same. Therefore, when others accomplish something and are honored for that accomplishment, it is because they have been true to their path. Since all of us are connected and are sisters and brothers, we feel proud when members of our human family are honored. As part of this creation, we are interconnected with everything. When any part of this creation is violated or wounded, we feel that violation. We are affected by that violation. Since we are all participants in this great creation, we hurt when others are hurt. Wounding is not individual. In sharing the honor and hurt of all, I have the possibility of becoming one with all creation. I can, therefore, move beyond what I am by myself. What I am myself can do and do.
I chose that reading because about the oneness. And I'm also going to weave today about our sacred purpose and our sacred paths and our activism. I've been blessed since May 1st to be part of a poetry group, and Bonnie is part of that as well. And we do online poetry. And my whole life has changed. So I call it, it's artivism, getting involved in some art form that you can really feel passionate about. So this poem is what came to me yesterday regarding the talk today. Rise up, stand up, sing out, speak out, tell it like it is, con gusto. Your voice, my voice, our voices together. Sweet victory is near. The time is here. You count, I count, we all count together. Doubt this? Think again. Think Martin, think Mahatma, think Diana, think Teresa. Rally for peace, create peace. Starts with me, starts with you. Don't think so? Think again. Think civil rights marches. Think women's suffragettes. Think hands across America. Think, period. Act with love, compassion. Without the ongoing amazing power of small groups of committed citizens, nothing can be shifted. So shift out of your seat and comfort zone and rise up, stand up, sing out, speak out, tell it like it is, con gusto, your voice, my voice, our voices together. Sweet victory is near.
I can do that.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
I'll agree to that.
I'll smoke it.
And so I'm real excited about this talk, but to calm myself down and the little butterflies in my stomach, I'm going to just sing you a song. And I'm gonna sing it sweet and pretty, accompanied gets done without movement. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. God will see us through. God will see us through. God will see us through today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe God will see us through today. Hey, we're on to victory. Oh, we're on to victory. Oh, we're on to victory today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe on to victory today. We are unity. We are unity. We are unity. We are unity today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we are unity today. Here we go. Bring it home and we shall overcome. Sing it out. Oh, we shall overcome. Whatever's in your life that's in the way, we shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday. Thank you, whoever wrote that song.
There was a group of writers.
Writers for during the time of the civil rights.
It ends up 2 days, we shall
I
overcome.
think Pete
Awesome.
Seeger was one of them. I know Guy Carawan, who was about a year ahead of me in my high school.
Awesome.
Back,
Bringing it home personally, that's fantastic.
Wow.
Okay, we're in for a ride. How's everybody doing?
Ready?
Okay, so I'm going to stir the pot up a little bit today. How's that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because activism is something that is, get it? Active? There's the word, the first three letters are ACT. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about acting. Now, acting can look a lot of different ways. It can be the theater, and we're acting, and bringing some message across that's pretty powerful. Yes, Shakespeare has some really good words to say, I would say. We can bring it through our activism, our artivism through music, like we just did. How did you feel singing that song?
Really good.
Your fibers, your cells wake up because we can overcome. We can overcome. It is the art of acting. It is the act of arting. So activism and the word act is a really, really important piece to this. And we can also write, we can do petitions, we can shake our neighbor's hand, we can bring the beautiful tomatoes that are overgrown in our garden next to our neighbor. It can be the smallest act. We can be still in meditation and sending vibratory energy to who we think, who wants it, and to the world. How powerful is your meditation? Anybody meditate? Anybody feel the difference within their heart? Has anybody been at the result of that energy coming to them? I am blessed. Thank you to dear Estella Lesky to be inviting me and all my prayer sisters. I'm blessed for the last almost 2 years to be part of the prayer circle. Prayer as activism. And there are days that I go, oh, I'm not going to go today. I have things to do. I have work to do. Stop the presses. That is my work. That is God's work through me. So I do show up. And I show up every Monday. And I will say this, I need to be mindful about how I say this. I need to stay humble. We need to stay humble about this. But the miracles that happen in that circle, from the healing and the love that people feel because a group, more than one, is gathered there, in whosever name you choose. One or more are gathered there, and that energy flows and goes out and reaches out to the people, to the dogs, to the animals. And I didn't mention how close and the animals about these fires, to just keep the insects and the animals and the trees in our hearts and our minds. In our hearts and our minds. One of the other things that I've been doing lately speaking of art, is I love to do collage. And Anne-Marie and I did a session of doing like a vision board, and I did one practice collage, and then I went home. I'm not done with it yet, but this is my collage vision board, okay? So the importance of this, for me, and I'll tell you how it fits as an activist, is that I have, if you know me well, I have a lot of interests and passions. And I can stay up here in the whirlwind. Anybody can relate to that one? Lots of things to be excited about. Everything from flower essences that Kathy Mary does, to the beautiful vegan cuisine that Al puts together, to music, to unity. I'm so involved. But sometimes I get lost up here. So this kind of visioning board helps me bring what my desires, what my thoughts, what my ideas, my excitements are to one piece of paper. And it helps me think straight. Because as an activist, if I'm not thinking straight, then I'm not acting straight. And I'm not inspiring you straight. And I'm not inspiring you in a way that you feel who I am or get who I am. So, I believe that it's really exciting and essential for me, I'll speak about myself, to put these ideas down on paper, to put them in a cohesive way, so that when I do move forward in my life, when I do take the next steps, I can refer to that and go, oh yeah, this is really what my number one priority is right now. It gets tricky for me. I'm an improvisational actress. If you don't know me, I can do little voices, we can have fun. I've been in improv theater in the 80s. I did that in Santa Fe in New York City. Oh my goodness. Like, talk about activism. Does anybody here have any time in their life, now is acceptable too, that there is an energy that is stuck? Is there any time in your life that some emotions might not have come to the surface? Well, guess what? In improvisation, you can get angry, and you can get rageful, and you can get soft as a butterfly. And you can get outrageous, and you can be in a safe arena with safe people, expressing your essential qualities that bring forth your passions and your love of life. I will say that improvisation in my 20s saved my life. I was involved with a group of people that were spectacular. Spectacular. That support, that love, that kindness. So being not afraid. I didn't even know I had all those emotions. So I had a safe arena. So that was my artivism, activism again. And it was so much fun and so revealing and so wonderful. And then David Darling came into my life. David Darling, Music for People, nonprofit organization, music improvisation. I will say to you that every word you have heard me sing, every flute note you have heard me sing is because of that man and that group of people. Because what I didn't have was the courage to express myself as me. Oh, I'm not Streisand, I'm not Tchaikovsky, I'm not Barry Manilow writing songs. Like, I don't know if you like them or not, it doesn't matter. But these people who write music, who sing, who compose, I wasn't those people. So I said, why bother? Well, you go to a group of people, you sit in a workshop with David Darling, and the first thing he does is say, look at all the other monkeys in the room. So basically everybody's in the same boat, whether they haven't played their flute for 25 years or whether they're in a symphony orchestra. Very exciting journey. Really blessed to have that experience in my life. And so what I did was I transferred all of those skills as an improvisational artist to my flute, to teaching flute. When I teach flute, we don't teach notes. We don't go over notes unless you want to, but my students don't. Because what I'm teaching you is how to access your love of that instrument. How to access your part in how you want to play. So Spirit's telling me right now to do something that totally scares me, and that's part of your activism too. Those people that sat at those counters, I think they wanted to do something else that day. I think Rosa Parks probably just wanted to go home and sew a dress. But those people in that moment knew that they had to do something different. We have Chris Hardy right now. He wants to farm the land, but he's talking about GMOs. And you can talk to me about GMOs afterwards and my passion about that subject. These are people that go beyond and they don't care about the jailhouse. It may not be their first choice, but sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zone and go beyond what we know is comfortable. So I'm going to do that right now. And as I do this, I want to encourage you to do this for you when you go out there. However it shows up. Scares you. Do what scares you. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself yourself safe, keep yourself grounded. So sacred activism, how many people have heard that expression before? Anybody read the book? So Andrew Harvey has the Institute for Sacred Activism, and he explains it this way. Sacred activism is a transforming force of compassion in action that is born of a fusion of deep spiritual knowledge, courage, love, and passion, with wise, radical action in the world. The large-scale practice of sacred activism can become an essential force for preserving and healing the planet and its inhabitants. It asks us to take up the challenge of our contemporary crises in order to become inspired, effective, and practical agents of institutional and systemic change in order to create peace and sustainability. A lot of words, but I think you get the message. He also has a quote, "If you are really listening, if you're awake to the poignant beauty of the world, your heart breaks regularly. In fact, your heart is made to break. Its purpose is to burst open again and again so that it can hold ever more wonders." I am so embraced in that process right now. I have been called to my knees with so many things in my life recently, and I just am so excited about the adventure. I'm so excited about the challenge. And sometimes I cry, and sometimes I scream, and sometimes I get cranky. But then I rise up above and I go, oh my goodness, this is my life, I claim it. I'm the activist in my life. I'm the one who can write that poem yesterday because I knew I wanted to give something to you. I am the one who is the activist. And I'll tell you another personal story here. I'm a funny bird. A to B can be impossible, B to Z is a breeze. Okay, anybody can relate to that one? Okay, especially when it comes to my life and my world and my creativity. I've been very blessed to have that opportunity here to express myself. Not only in words and music and drumming, but also in talks and in unity being on the board. I'm telling you, this board rocks. We get a lot done, and we want to do a lot more. So, those activists in you, please step up if you have skills for the board, because we want to rock this town. This is not just about us sitting here in our seats every Sunday, and it can be about that, no judgment here. What it is about is that this Ashland town, we have some issues. We have some real issues. We have homeless, we have people that are not eating, we have kids who don't go to school, we have meth, we have everything here. This is no little Mecca. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it is a Mecca, because we have such an amazing spiritual foundation here. Thank you to Norma. Give it up for Norma. She could be other places and lots and lots and lots of different services and different cities. She finds her home here, and part of that is because your love for her has just been so palpable and so strong. So your activism on Sunday is it's important to step up and come here. I know I get so much love and so much grace here. So anyway, coming back to my life lately. So yesterday, I signed up to get a website in November. And it was a side website that I wanted to do, not my primary one. And I paid for it, and I didn't do anything. So yesterday, the light bulb kept on flashing in my eyes. You gotta do this. So I sat down and I did it. And then it didn't work. I'm like, okay, universe, you led me to this moment and then you're gonna slap me in the face? But then I called somebody for support, and then I came back to the computer and all was well. So anyway, I got the thing done. It will be live next week. It's about my intuitive readings. I'm an intuitive reader as well. And it was a blast. It was just really a blast. And I also need to talk to you about why and who I am such an activist. My mother, Flora Duell Benjamin, when I was younger, there were no stop signs on my street. And a few kids had gotten into a bike accident, and one child actually died. And so she wrote to the local powers that be, and she wrote a poem, and she posted it, I'm getting the chills. She wrote a poem and she posted it in our window. And that was her form. Because years ago, I was like, why am I such an activist? And I was like, well, duh. Because she passed when I was 12, so there was not a lot of activism after that. But I do remember that that was a key seed that was planted many, many years ago. So I thank her for that. And she also listened to Joan Baez. Okay? She listened to Joan Baez. She listened to some of the music that was probably a little stretch for her, you know? And so we listened to Joan Baez. And tears are welling up in my eyes because she's another one who moved me. She moved me so much. I saw her in concert in the late 80s, and she sang "Oh Freedom." And she moved me so much. And I just saw it on YouTube. I highly recommend you watch her singing "Oh Freedom." You will have chills for about 3 days. And so people like that, once again, she could have been sitting back, collecting her royalties, and eating chocolate mousse all day. She went to the front lines, the trenches. She almost died, I don't know how many times, to bring forth the message in some of the most palpable, beautiful, emotional ways. I also have to thank Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson, if more people listened, I think we'd be in a little bit of a different place, but that's the past. Rachel Carson and her environmental book, Silent Spring, about DDT, shifted the consciousness of the world and the planet, and lots more was done. Lots more was done. So there are these people in your life. It could be your neighbor who gives to the food shelter all the time. And it also can be someone like Mahatma Gandhi. It could be Mother Teresa. It could be anyone. Anyone. It can be a tree. Think about it. What gives us more sustenance? There's a tree right there. The roots of a tree. The roots, the bark, the leaves. So that your role model can be a tree. Branches everywhere. Blows when the wind. Has deep, deep roots that never ever fall. Has a tough bark and sheds it when it needs to. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I needed to thank my mom. And I needed to thank David Darling. And I needed to thank all of the people in my life that have moved me. And I have to thank Al, aka Chef Al, who's been feeding me, literally and figuratively, for 13 years. I eat organic, plant-based cuisine, and I say cuisine every day. It could be a simple dish, but there's a flavor to it and a brightness, and it doesn't matter what money is in the bank or not. That food is organic. That is my claim. That is my stand. That is who I am. And yes, a farmer, if they are doing practices and they're not certified organic, I don't care. We go to the farm. We have Mary here who handles the beautiful coconut sugars and the organic, and her son has been traveling the world over, finding and sourcing the best ingredients on the planet. Once again, people can be sitting, doing whatever they do, and not going out there. There's lots of ways we can be active. There's lots of ways we can be activists. So let's talk about your work. You don't have to raise your hand on here. But are people here doing the work that they love? And if you are doing the work that you love, fantastic. If you're not doing the work that you love, and there's lots of good reasons for it, be kind to yourself. And maybe there's a way of turning that around. Maybe there's a way of turning that around. We're not going to go into that right now, but maybe there's a way. So be kind to yourself and be kind to the work that you do. And I also recommend, and I've done this before, feisty triple Aries that I am, I worked at Archie Comics many years ago in another life in Manhattan, and I didn't like what was happening at a particular time. And I didn't care what people did to me or what was going on with me, but I didn't like it when they were doing something to someone else, so I stood up for them. And it was scary. It was so scary. But I felt like I could not work there another day if this was going to continue. I finally left, but I was there another 6 or 7 months because it was one of my best jobs ever. I had a team of 2 guys that worked. I told them what to do. They had it done in 2.5 seconds. We shipped it off to the licensor, and boom, everything was magic, exciting, all of that. But the family dynamics and the pain that I was seeing, I couldn't affect change anymore. So that's another thing, is know when to leave. If you're an activist, if you're working, know when to leave. Know where to put your energies. Anybody have any family issues? Just 2. Okay. I'll just speak to the 2 of you then. So basically, family, love them. Anyway, that's scary for me to say. That's really, really scary for me to say. The other one? Okay. It's scary for me to say that. I love my dad. We're very different. I love my brother. We're beyond different. It takes a lot of strength and courage for me to say that. My mind goes, oh, it shouldn't. It's my brother. It's my father. But you know what I mean. Love them anyway, and learn to open your heart even more. But also learn, as an activist for yourself now we're switching gears, for yourself, your own activism, learn what's going to work for you. Learn what's going to be effective. So I'll give you an example of that. 2 years ago I went home and I was calling my friends for support. I don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't been home for so long. Oh my goodness. So what I decided to do was bring love in my suitcase. So I went home and I brought love in my suitcase. And there were a couple of things that came up that triggered me. And I said one thing, and then when they came back again at me, I said, oh, I see that differently, and I let it go. The second time, but I wasn't truly fully myself. The second time I went back, I said, bring the love, but bring who you are as well. And that really worked. I sang, I played flute in front of my family. My father and my uncle were celebrating their 90th birthday at the time, and that was another brave, courageous thing. But the feedback I got was beautiful. So, I want to switch to activism in your own life. And that, honestly and truthfully, is where I'm at right now. Since I've been on the internet, which is about 12, 13 years, I have been an internet activist. And what does that look like? That looks like, for a long time, it looked like many hours a day. And what it looked like was signing petitions everywhere I could find them. And what it looked like was sharing that with my friends. And then the monster Facebook came along, and I resisted it like the plague. And about 4 years ago, I jumped on. And I haven't, as you know, whoever is here, on my Facebook page, you know that I'm out there a lot. And it's a little sloppy. I could do it a little more streamlined, but right now that's what I'm doing. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I didn't think I had a voice. Up until my mid-20s, I was quiet. especially in my late teens and early 20s, I was quiet. I didn't think I had anything to say. I didn't join conversations. I didn't get political. I didn't do a lot of different things because I didn't think I had any value or anything to say. I was happy enough. I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but I really didn't think I had anything to say. And then I did some of the workshops you do, did Life Spring, did all this other stuff, and the doors were wide, just open, wide. And the expression came out, and the improv started, and all of those things that were shut down inside. I didn't have a diary because I was afraid of my feelings. Okay? So, you know me now. I want you to believe me that that was me then. And it was because I started believing in myself. And I started seeing the reflection in you and you and you and you, and you were my mirrors. How gorgeous are you? How gorgeous are you? How beautiful, touching, amazing are you? Why would I ever believe I'm not as amazing as you? Okay, so you know that song, how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than whole? How could anyone ever tell you that? So therefore, this expression, this true expression, the voice came forth, the love came forth. I let go of friends. I brought new friends in. When you're a friend of mine now, we're in for a ride. You know my pain, you know my joys. Nobody knew my pain back then. I didn't even know it. So to be the activist in your life, I want you to fall in love with yourself. I know a lot of you have gone through all of these things and maybe are there already. If you're not, it's time. I'll tell you one of the reasons it's time. I need you. I need you. This planet needs you. I could go on and get really snarky about going to environmental workshops and seeing styrofoam. I could get really snarky about vegan food not being represented well. I could get really snarky about a lot of things. Body image, female stuff, male stuff. I could get really snarky. Now, snark can work if it's balanced with humor, but if I say, you know, I'm really tired of this thing with the GMOs and the food on my plate, he's not going to listen to me. But if I say, I invite you, there's this great movie, come on over. There's going to be this amazing watermelon soup, and the talk, you're going to flip out over Farmer Chris. He is such a good friend and activist. Come on over. Which one do you think is going to work? Okay? And I do watch my righteousness, and sometimes it comes out. And I do watch my arrogance, and sometimes it comes out. The last time I checked, I am human. Except, actually, somebody told me that I was from another planet last week, but that's a whole other talk. Walter just said that's a compliment. And so being true to myself and being true to myself, there we go, and you being true to yourself makes us all true to ourselves. It's a win-win-win-win positive situation. Do we get that? Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing is the Holy Trinity. Guilt, shame, and blame. Okay? So here we are. Everything I've said so far, resonate, not resonate. Everything that I said about coming Sunday, joining the board, everything is not about guilt, shame, or blame. It's about your authentic self showing up. I want your authentic self to show up to those marches. The first time I went to a big march. It was about the nukes in the 80s. And the other one was about Hands Across America. I was one of those hands. Anybody else? Yay. And then the one that really moved me to my knees, brought me to my knees, was the in Santa Fe. It was the time about the war. And what I got to see and feel, not only see, I felt like I was seeing my collective consciousness. Holy goodness, Batman, look at all these other people. It's not just me in my little room thinking, peace, oh no, oh yes. It's not just me. It's you and you and you and you. Oh my God, and you're powerful, man. You're really powerful. I'm one of you. Oh, cool. Way cool. Way. So, I said I'd talk about burnout. I'm going to read real quick about that one. Anybody have volunteer burnout ever in their life? Really important. If you are a volunteer, be a volunteer. What does that mean? That means volunteer. Don't suffer. Don't complain. Don't say, oh my God, I can't believe they expect this of me. What do they want from me now? Why can't they do it? Your heart's involved here, folks. Jane is on the camera. She does it with her heart. Alan Aykroyd's behind the soundboard. He does it with his heart. He might joke with you about, something, because he's pretty snarky himself. That's why we love him. Richard, I could do 3 services about Richard. That is service, man. Especially playing with me. In terms of, like, I don't know what chord I don't know what key I'm in. So, thank you, Richard, for always being there for me. So getting back to volunteering, step up, do it with love, do it with kindness. If you're burnt out, say I'm burnt out right now, I'm taking a break. If you're burnt out, call an ally. Norman talks about allies in our life. Call an ally. If you are suffering in your life and something's really scary, call an ally. Why? Sacred activism, man. People want to be involved, they want to support you. The way you deliver it is really important. The way you take action in your own life is really important. But people do want to love you and they want to support you. So, burnout, I also offer you to be creative. So, Anne-Marie was really creative. She had a song. That was her activism. She gave it to me. I was able to incorporate it. Boom, bada boom. No big deal. Get creative. Show up. And if you don't, and if you can't show up with a pure heart, please take time to regenerate. I do that a lot. I regenerate a lot, especially here on Mondays, prayer group, and then Stephanie Lash's Monday night meditation. That is my battery recharge every week. Oh, how can I forget this one? Learn to say no. Learn to say no. Yeah, there we go. It is not a 4-letter word. It's a 2-letter word, and it's no. Guess what? No is a yes. No, I can't do that. Yes, I'm taking some rest. No, I can't do that. I am so tired of participating this way. I got to take a break. So your no is a yes. Get it? Good. So isn't that fun? You said no, but it's a yes. Oh my goodness. But the yes is because you're taking care of yourself, okay? It's not selfish. It's not stupid. It's because you're taking care of yourself. Have fun, be creative, and create your own guidelines for potent participation. So I do flyers for Unity, I do the music, I do this. I love it. I always say no. to the things I don't like. And I used to say yes. Okay. Do it feels good, not a should, no guilt. Compassionate, compassion, and action opens the door for so much love and goodness to flood in. I'm going to wrap up now, and I'm going to also thank people like Richie Havens. God bless him. He went to the other side this year and got to meet him, the most magnanimous, beautiful man I've ever met in the profession. Harry Belafonte, had a crush on him when I was 6 years old. Still have a crush on him. What we don't know about Harry Belafonte, he's been on the front lines. He is still on the front lines of taking care of issues that are so important. He is still a voice, and he's 80. I think he's had cancer. I mean, the man is still there. The music industry, the good people, the people who are sharing the wisdom and the love. Rosa Parks, Ryan White, brave young man who had AIDS, put his voice out there many years ago. I got the blessing of working on the AIDS Alive film in the 80s. Talk about courage. So who's ever in your life and whatever is in your life that you want to take action on, trust yourself, trust God if you have a God. If you don't have a God, that's okay. Bring who you are to the table. Bring your energy, your enthusiasm, your love. Your activism is needed here. Your love is needed here. The planet is ready for it in a really huge way. And so, I want to do a reading for you. But first I'm inspired. This is another part of activism, is to listen to spirit. Listen to spirit. There's so many times I've listened to spirit, like a few weeks ago up here. I did the song at the offering improv. So I'm just going to read this again. Sacred activism. Rise up, stand up, sing out, speak out, tell it like it is, con gusto. Your voice, my voice, our voices together. Sweet victory is near. The time is here. You count, I count, we all count together. Doubt this? Think again. Think Martin, think Mahatma, think Diana, think Teresa. Rally for peace, create peace. Starts with me, starts with you, don't think so? Think again. Think civil rights marches, think women's suffragettes, think hands across America. Think, period, act with love, compassion. Without the ongoing amazing power of small groups of committed citizens, nothing can be shifted. So shift out of your seat and comfort zone and rise up. Stand up, sing out, speak out. Tell it like it is. Con gusto, your voice, my voice, our voices together. Sweet victory is near. Thank you so much for coming today. Donna Corso is going to be the speaker next week, and she has a powerful message to bring about the dying process and about some stories, and she wrote a book, and I'm so excited for her that she wrote a book in the spring, and the launch is happening this month. So please bring out your friends, and she will do some amazing, amazing, amazing things. So I'm going to segue us now to the beautiful meditation that Jeffrey is going to bring to us. And what a blessing. Norma texted me this week, and she said, "Oh, I met this amazing guy, and he does the sacred bowls. I know you're doing the talk and the music. What do you think?" Huh, excuse me. Hello. So how beautiful and synchronistic that life can be. So I'm going to segue to Jeffrey bringing us the meditation that's going to bring this message home. And what I offer you, and he'll talk to you a little bit, what I offer you is when you do this deep meditation, that everything that resonated with you, you bring it out and forth to the world. Your energy, your heart. Your heart is a beautiful organ that means so much. It pumps blood, and it pumps energy, and people can feel it. This is from Pocket Full of Miracles by Joan Borsenko. Seed thought. Richard Bowles' books, What Color is Your Parachute and How to Find Your Mission in Life, are marvelous guides to right livelihood and purposeful living. In the latter book, Bowles summarizes all the work we've done this month as the 3 stages of mission. The first 2 are shared by every human being, and the third is unique to each of us. 1, to seek to stand hour by hour in the presence of God, the one from whom your mission is derived. 2, to do what you can moment by moment, day by day, step by step, to make this world a better place, following the leading and guidance of God's Spirit within you and around you. 3, to find your unique gift, the talent which is your birthright and which brings you joy, and to use it how and where Spirit leads you. Prayer practice. Great Spirit, I give thanks for the greatest of all gifts, my life. I trust that everyone has been created with a purpose in life, and that as long as I commit myself to listening to your guidance, you will lead me in the paths of right livelihood and right use of my time. Today and all days, I dedicate all my activities to the benefit of my family, clan, nation, and all beings. Aho.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. That just ripped my heart right open. So usually I say less, but in the spirit of stepping into your fear and what's authentic. What I want to offer today is a perspective on what the bowls can bring in connection to what we heard. The bowls attune us to the stillness, this quietude. Beneath the sound, there is this quietude. And sometimes we hear or sometimes I've heard, you may have heard in spiritual circles, kind of something juxtaposed between the stillness, that meditative state, and that activity that we hear about today. From the tradition, from some of the teachers I've worked with, there's this idea that actually creativity, your voice, the voice of your heart, comes from that stillness. And there's even a term called spanda, this enthusiasm of the heart, the energy, the life force, and its interplay with stillness. And so today during our meditation, simply, this is your time. So we stop and attune to that background of stillness and its connection to creativity, to spanda, and enthusiasm.
heels.